what's been most impressive about this project is that Clonter have been able to continue their unique spirit of supporting young artists and doing so in a friendly, encouraging, nurturing way, even though we all have to be in various parts of the UK, even Europe actually in some cases. And it's been lovely to see the spirit of the company living on even through tricky times.
When I found out that Barber wasn't going to happen, as was planned as a full production, it was really, really not very good.
Everything around me started to be cancelled until and Clonter sent us a message saying we will try to do it as long as we can. We'll tell you as soon as we know when we've got updates.
Got a message from the office that because of the continuing health crisis, the production wasn't going to go ahead.
I think, of course, we were all really disappointed when we realised that it wasn't going to happen live or as we imagined.
It's like having the rug pulled from under you, and I think it's the same for everyone, really. It's not just opera singers or whatever, musicians. You're having that level of certainty removed so quickly, and with just so ruthlessly, I think is very hard.
In fact, I got ill. I got the coronavirus, and I was supposed to stay here only the weekend where I was ill, but it was like 2 days, so it was fine. But I couldn't go back in England because the lockdown happened here. So I've been stuck here for the whole lockdown.
Clonter didn't just say, okay, well, we'll leave it until next year, or we'll cut it and do a new opera, or we'll just postpone it, or whatever. They tried to actively and successfully do something when we were supposed to be in Clonter. And I think that's really, really positive. Ma se pagasse la vecchia pretendente, pagarla in qual maniera? E poi Antonio che è un incognito Figaro ricusa di dare una nipote in matrimonio.
When the rehearsal started on Monday, July the 6th, when rehearsals were supposed to start, we had a meet and greet.
And our main thrust for this whole lockdown is to try and give you as high quality videos as we can that will be useful to you.
So every morning we did a Zoom, and although my damn technology didn't work, I still felt like something had started.
I was going to say, can you put your hands up if you've done this before? I'm afraid my memory is terrible.
And that was wonderful to feel in this kind of 4-month drought, and God knows how much longer it's going to be.
I had to record what I thought was a version of the accompaniment as an audio file. Which then had to be sent to the singers for them to have an internet meeting with the conductor and sing to my accompaniment.
Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò.
After they had had their working sessions with the conductor, I then had to hear from them again with whatever had been discussed with Paul, in terms of maybe altering the tempo a little bit, or some of the decorations didn't need to be quite as florid, or some were more florid. And then I had to record the accompaniment again, video this time.
Una voce poco fa qui nel cor mi risuonò.
Although I had misgivings about, how tricky it would be to achieve things online, and it's certainly a different beast altogether from working, face to face with someone, particularly for a coach like me, because I like to physicalize things with the singers, and I like to push them around a little bit, and and try different things. So to not have the ability to actually, have that contact with them is a little bit tricky. But nonetheless, we managed to do some very good work indeed.
And I think what I'd like to get a sense of as well, Elsa, is that there's a difference in colour between the first Dunque io son with the piano chords, Dunque io son, tu non incanni.
Yeah.
that creates then the forte chord. So we need to find that difference there.
Yeah.
Can we try once again?
Dunque io son, tu non m'inganni.
Great, fantastic. So now, Elsa, do you think we can try? For me, the son is a little bit long. I wonder if we can go.
Yeah, my job really is to find colour and contrast in an aria, particularly these comic arias, which move at a pace, and really the comedy lies in the quick gear changes that a character makes, and the way we see them struggling with status and having the rug pulled from under their feet and the rest of it. All of that has to be communicated vocally, not just through the acting, but through vocal colour as well.
You have to have a certain level of confidence to be able to play the guy. In the aria, that's the bit I recorded. It's basically like, here I am. I know you always wanted me. I know you need me, and here I am. Just pay attention to me. And it's just like a showman, isn't he? He's just like a showman. Because it's a hard role. It's not an easy role. At the beginning, I was a bit, doubting a bit, but then I said, you know what? It's a great place to go and explore this role, because it's with people that are always going to support me, and to be honest with you, it's a role that I really wanted to try.
So we had this duet between Elsa and Jacobo. And we had this lovely exercise where Elsa was speaking in her mother tongue, in French, and Jacobo was answering in Spanish. So at a certain moment, it sounded completely different, but they both could pick up the cue of what a real conversation could be. And what they say is, then the audience will perceive what the real conversation will be in Italian.
Alors c'est moi? Tu ne m'as pas trompé? Alors c'est moi? Quelle chance! Mais je le savais déjà avant que tu le dises. Dunque io son, tu non m'inganni. Dunque io son, la fortunata. Già me l'ero immaginata. Io sapevo prima di te.
I know that it looks like io, but it's lo, it's an L.
Lo sapevo, sorry. Yeah, lo sapevo prima di te.
Yes, that's fine. Very good. Jacobo, you have the advantage. You had a few minutes of working out to your head. Go on.
Dell'indoro el pago objeto eres tú, bella Rosina.
And the fact that I had those workshops with Paul and Valeria, I literally rediscover the aria, and it's funny how like you can sing an aria or something for so long and still see it as a new way when you're working with different people, which is amazing. And I remember like telling to myself like, oh my God, but that is obvious. What they are saying to me, it's obvious. Why I didn't do that before?
What I bring is also what the feelings are as being Italian and working my own language. It's something very special for me. I can really picture what the librettist wanted and how I can help the process, but not only with the singers, also with directors and conductors. I think that's what my goal as a coach when I'm in a rehearsal room. So I serve the rehearsal.
In the process, we had to, record one part of the duet and then layer it with another, and it's an interesting skill for a singer. It's not one that they would necessarily come across in their everyday work, but they managed it extremely well. at the conservatoire, I'm working with singers that I know already, so online coaching becomes a little bit easier. But when you're working with singers that you don't know, and I didn't know any of these singers before, it just takes a moment to get used to that.
I think in general, the Zoom lessons and the Zoom coachings and things, I was quite apprehensive, but actually the detail that you can achieve via video is great.
Basically, you can choose Faryl between the causa or the questo, and I think on the first phrase, I beg your pardon, on the second phrase, you can choose between the tutti and the delirar. Che fa tutti delirar or che fa tutti delirar. Yeah.
Sometimes when coaches or singing teachers are playing the piano, they might miss certain things. So being able to fully see each other in so much detail as we are now has actually made me realise lots of things that I didn't realise I was doing, or has made me notice things that I think, oh, perhaps I can play on that, or perhaps I can work on that. So I think that was a pro to doing this experience online.
Ma che cosa è questo amore che fa tutti delirar?
And I think, again, that was why I was so excited to have been given this role, because I thought I can just enjoy my time and really, really go for the character. And I think that's what I'm most looking forward to doing, is learning more about how to get into the character and enjoy myself on stage.
So I'm sort of breaking through into the professional realm, and so I'm still an awful lot of the time performing very small roles in bigger houses is my sort of current professional stage. And so it's nice to occasionally have the opportunity to sing a bigger role, perhaps on a slightly smaller stage, but still very high quality music making.
Piano, piano, terra, terra, sottovoce, sibilando.
There was nothing that frustrated me about the process. There were obviously a couple of difficulties involved with trying to, put on a performance where, the pianist is in one room and in one time, and the other person somewhere else. Particularly the aria in which I sang, there's a lot of tempo changes, a lot of things where you really need to have that frisson in the room to anticipate what each other's doing to get it in time. We solved those problems with some remedies, including conducting of the head and things like this to keep things together.
In London, for an undergrad, is very good, but the opportunity to perform, it's not a lot. Yeah. So when you get opportunities like Clonter to actually put something on stage, it's fantastic, because then obviously you try out all the stuff you've been learning.
You are so caught up when you're on the stage in being animated and engaged with the story, and playing with your partners on stage, and watching Paul and the conductor work and everything, the elements of internet and looking at a screen and pressing play and listening in your these are the things that just aren't part of it.
Of course it's different because it's not on stage, and it's not with people, because that is something really I wish I can be really soon with my colleagues in the same room, because it's really different to sing in front of a camera with the earphone in your ears and trying to follow the piano or the conductor.
The amount of times where I would get to a pinnacle moment in the aria, and whether it be the F sharp or whether it be the coloratura, whether it be anything, and then if I was working with Paul or Valeria, and they'd just say, "Sorry, the screen froze. Can you just redo that?" And then it's like, I just did it and it was fine. Why couldn't you hear it? And it's so kind of like you have to go, yes, that's fine.
Even if it has been hard work at times, I think it's a good learning process. It's not something that's going away anytime soon, and I think it's going to be part of our working life for a bit.
Sconsolata, disperata, e non servono le smorfie. Faccia pullagata morta, cosa mettono a quella porta?
The opportunities that one gets at Clonter, I think, fill a very important part of any young singer's career. It represents an opportunity to perform on a proper big stage with full costumes, full lighting, everything that goes on backstage you get used to. These are crucial things, and it's not like you don't get those things at music college, but it's sort of up another level, and it gives you that working experience in a professional environment, which is completely crucial to moving forward with your career.
A structure like Clonter is really important, especially at the stage the stage of my career, because it's giving me the opportunity to grow as an artist in a safe environment, to allow myself also to try things where it's still, as I said, in a good environment. Also, it's a family, it's a big family, so it's so good to express myself as an artist in those in that kind of context.
The novelty of the sort of internet performance is slightly wearing off, but it was still novel for me, and I've done a couple of sort of broadcasts and things like that, but never having to sort of do it myself and become the cameraman, the audio technician myself, and have to do it all. So it was quite, I'm not going to say difficult, but it was certainly novel for me, and it was quite fun.
Everyone that's been cast has first refusal on taking up their roles in this production again, and you know, we very much hope that as far as possible that team is sustained, because, as I say, you know, one can tell as a coach, you know, even online, you know, that a dynamic and you know, a feel and energy from singers, and there seems to me to be a very strong sense in this cast that they would get on very well indeed, and actually all have something to bring to the table.
Obviously, this year we were unable to put on the performance of the Barber of Seville, and hopefully, God willing, we might be able to. It would be lovely to put it on next year in July, I believe. And so, yeah, fingers crossed.
I would be very interested and very grateful to come back to Clonter next summer to perform the role on stage with real live musicians and a real live audience.
If I was able to come to Clonter, socialise with all these wonderful people, sing with all these wonderful people, and have an amazing time for a whole month, yeah, I mean, anyone would be super lucky to be able to do that.
I think it would be fantastic to be able to perform Berta live on stage in the full costume, and I tried my best on this very small screen to get into character as much as possible.
You know what? It sounds a bit cliche, but I think we owe the people that come to Clonter, the audience, I think we owe them this nice production of Barber of Seville. It's never too much Barber of Seville. You know, they will have fun. They will absolutely, you know, laugh, love it. And it's such a great cast that I would really enjoy performing with.
I think you can't underestimate the amount of anticipation and how much we're looking forward to being in person with everyone. And I think, you know, it's just, as much as we've gotten an awful lot out of these last 2 weeks, it's just not the same. It's not satisfactory. And I think that builds the anticipation for whatever might happen next year. And we're really hopeful.
So that's very promising indeed, and you know, we all hope to be back to normal, you know, as soon as is possible, you know, so we can enjoy doing what we know and love.